Foreword to The Seed of the Soul 25th Anniversary Edition. This 25th anniversary edition of The Seed of the Soul fills me with gratitude and joy. After I finished the manuscript 25 years ago, I sat with it wondering whether anyone would read it, and if anyone read it, whether anyone would understand it. In the midst of these thoughts, another thought appeared, louder and clearer. It said, "Do not be concerned. This error will find its mark. The seed of the soul has now found its way to millions of hearts, and the error is still in flight." While writing my first book, The Dancing Wu-Lai Masters, an overview of the new physics, I discovered, to my complete surprise, inspiration that came from beyond my mind, non-physical intelligences that I could not articulate, and the electricity of creating consciously with constructive intent. I had never experienced anything like this. I love these experiences, but, for the most part, I forgot about them after the book was finished. The Dancing Wu-Lai Masters, which won the American Book Award for Science, established me as a popularizer of modern science. Many people expected me to follow it with a sequel, A Son of Wu-Lai Masters, that would explain more cutting-edge science. Instead, my next book was about evolution, reincarnation, karma, and the soul. It was about emotional awareness, responsible choice, and intuition. It was about an unprecedented transformation of human consciousness and the emergence of a new power, authentic power. In short, the new book was about a new human species, its new capabilities, and its new potential. This book was The Seed of the Soul. It surprised me more than anyone. Everything remarkable that touched me briefly while I was writing The Dancing Wu-Lai Masters returned undeniably, unmistakably, irrevocably into my awareness. I discovered non-physical reality. I am still growing into that discovery. All creative people, which is everyone, require commitment and time and courage to grow into their insights. Inspiration is one thing. Applying it to your life is another. My friend Maya Angelou tells me that when people tell her, "I am a Christian," she replies, "Really? Already? I am in my 80s, and I am still trying." Like Maya, I am still learning, still striving to apply the most meaningful insights of my life, and still changing for the better. Reading The Seed of the Soul 25 years after it was written was a completely surprising and deeply fulfilling experience. The book seemed perfect. Every sentence carried meaning for me. Soon, almost the entire book was underlined. I was thirsty for the words. They sank into me like water into dry sand. They nurtured and soothed me. The blessing that I felt when I was writing this book returned to me amplified many times. I basked in it. I thought I knew it all. After all, I typed it, edited it, and talked about it for years. But rereading the book showed me that I had things to remember, more to learn, and much more to practice. The Seed of the Soul brought remarkable people into my life. Two of them in particular touched me more deeply than I could have imagined, and continue to support me in ways that thrill and surprise me. The first is Linda Francis. I do not remember the first time we met, although she does. We met again a year later at a small retreat where I was speaking. I remember everything about that meeting. I was surrounded by loving people, and I found myself pushing one of them away, Linda. I wanted none of the hugs she gave so freely. This was my first clue that parts of me were threatened by her, but I was not aware enough to recognize it. I could not escape her at the event. For example, a friend saved a seat for me at a concert, a different friend saved a seat for Linda, and the saved seats were together. I began to share my curiosity with her. Why was I pushing only her away? I shared my intention not to be controlled by this unusual repulsion. "I will not refuse your love," I told her, not romantic love, but the love that she so obviously felt with her friends at the retreat, and that she held out to me as well. At the end of the event, friends invited me to join them for a cold splash in a waterfall. When they suggested that I invite Linda, I became irritated. Linda, what is this thing with Linda? Can I not do anything at this event without Linda? When Linda called me a month later to tell me that she was moving to Mount Shasta, California, where I lived, a decision that predated the retreat, I felt frightened and, again, curious. When our friends and I welcomed her to her new home, I was surprised to realize how much I had been looking forward to her arrival. I was relaxed, comfortable, happy, and open. We began to visit each other. Some of our talks I enjoyed, and others I did not, but I found myself looking forward to each one. Several months later, the thought occurred to me, I think I am in a relationship. Without the sexual interactions that had begun my previous relationships, new and different kinds of interactions began to occur. These were my first experiences of a substantive and deep relationship for the purpose of spiritual growth, a spiritual partnership. A half year later, about 20 years ago, she moved into my cabin, and our journey together continues today. In our years together, I have marveled not only that I love Linda, something I did not think myself capable of when we met, but that I love loving her. This is the experience that intrigues me. It is as strong in me now as it was when I discovered it. Where does that come from? The second person is Oprah Winfrey. She is the instrument that the universe chose to explode me out of the back country and into the larger world. I suspect that nothing less than that explosion could have done it. She took me into her heart, her creativity, and her famous The Oprah Winfrey Show. First, I was a recluse on a mountain, and then, a few months later, I was speaking to 10 million people monthly. New friends appeared wherever I went in the world, thanking me for a show, smiling at me from a distance. It took me a long time to acknowledge that my life of isolation was over, and even longer to welcome it. During each show, Oprah and I sat before an eager audience and the company of fellow souls around the world. She introduced a theme, asked me some questions, and then, with a gesture of her hand or movement of her face, turned the attention of millions of people toward me. It was terrifying and awesome. Sacred and holy are better words. When a national magazine pursued me for an article, she counseled, "It's only cotton candy, Gary. Only cotton candy." What could have described external power better? My adopted Sioux uncle, Phil Lane, SR, once told me after watching one of our shows, "Nephew, you are talking like the old people." That memory fills me with strength and gratitude. I am grateful for Oprah and to the universe for all of these experiences and more. In the years following my shows with Oprah, Linda and I co-founded the Seed of the Soul Institute, gave many events, wrote books, and developed long-term, in-depth programs for small groups. Now our passion for supporting people and spiritual partnerships has grown stronger than ever, but traveling has become taxing for us, so we have created new digital tools and innovative ways to use the internet, such as an ongoing support program, e-course, e-newsletters, an online spiritual partnership community, live videos, and the web addresses at the end of the chapter study guides in this book. Tap them in your ebook or type them into your browser, and they will take you to web pages that will help you further explore, integrate, and apply what you are studying. You will find all of these and more at seedofthesoul.com. Linda and I still enjoy giving live events when possible, including our favorite, the annual The Journey to the Soul Summer Retreat. I hope that I will meet you personally at one of them. The internet is a reflection in the domain of the 5 senses of our emerging awareness of our connectedness. It does not create or even increase our connectedness. It is not possible for us to be more or less connected than we are with one another in life. Can a flower be more or less connected to its color? Let us enjoy this beautiful reflection together and also what it reflects. The most difficult, gratifying, and thrilling experiences I have had since publishing The Seed of the Soul have been my experiences of authentic power and creating authentic power. Spiritual partnerships, richness of co-creation, and awe of life have slowly replaced my experiences of people as things in my tormenting journeys through anger, jealousy, despair, and unworthiness. I still encounter parts of my personality that are angry, frightened, jealous, superior, and inferior, but now I see them as opportunities to create authentic power, to choose anew. If I can do this, you can too. I know that eventually you will. The transformation of consciousness that is expanding our perception beyond the 5 senses, redefining power, and showing us the potential of a universal humanity is proceeding in full force. Each choice of fear, anger, jealousy, vengefulness is a choice to evolve unconsciously through the painful, destructive consequences that fear creates. Each choice of love, gratitude, patience, appreciation is a choice to evolve consciously through the healthy, constructive consequences that love creates. Why not choose the conscious path, the path of joy? Why not journey consciously to the seat of your soul, that place where you transform energy into matter with your intentions, infuse your world with love and live there? All roads lead to home. Gary Zukov.